We here.
If all council members can take their seats, we'll go ahead and get started. It is 5:39 p.m. and I'm calling this council meeting to order in accordance with the charter, section 3-201. And we're going to start with the roll call. Mr. Lowry. Dr. Lewis. Present. Ms. Priestley. Present. Ms. Winter-Carter. Present. Ms. Burns. Present. Mr. Pfeiffer? Present. Mr. Jerry?
Present.
We have 7 members present.
Madam Clerk,
Ms. Priestley?
I make a motion to, for the reorganization of city council to go at the end of the agenda after all this other business.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
And that is to move the reorganization of the city council to the end of the Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
No.
Ms. Shad is not in. Mr. Piper? Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Vote is 3 yes, 4 no.
They thought this was
So
gonna
that
be
will
quick.
take us back to the organization of the city council.
They sick.
And we are going to start with the vote for council president. I will go through and call your names, and we'll state the name of the council member that you would like to appoint as president of the council. And we will be starting when we left off, which will be starting with round number 712. And for this purpose, we will start with the next member who would have been next on the vote. That is going to be Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen. Dr. Lewis. Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns.
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Shannon's not in. Mr. Piper. That's 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 2 votes for Mr. Shannon. 713. Mr. Allen. And remind the members to please speak into your microphone so that everyone in the back can hear and online. Dr. Lewis. Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Shannon is absent. Mr. Piper.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
3 votes for Ms. Shad, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 714. Dr. Lewis. Priestley.
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Shad is absent. Mr. Piper.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen.
Kansas.
3 votes for Mr. Shad, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 715. Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Shad is absent. Mr. Piper.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen.
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis. That's 3 votes for Mr. Shad, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 716. Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Piper.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen.
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis. Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 3 votes for Mr. Shad. Round 717. Ms. Burns.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Piper.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen.
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis. Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 3 votes for Mr. Shad.
Madam Clerk,
Ms. Priestley.
I'd like to make a motion that we postpone this vote until after the public hearing.
to postpone the organization of council until after the public hearings. And for this, we will actually be regular round, order. So, Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Murphy Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
No.
Mr. Piper?
No.
Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
That is 3 votes, 3 yes, 4 no, and motion fails. That takes us to round 718 on organization of council. Ms. Michelle? Yes.
Candace Michelle.
Mr. Piper?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen?
Candace.
Dr. Lewis? Ms. Priestley?
Candace.
Mr. Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Mr. Jarrett, 4 votes for Mr. Carter. Round 719. Mr. Piper?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen?
Candace.
Dr. Lewis? Ms. Priestley?
Candace.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Michelle?
Candace Michelle.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Michelle. Round 720. Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen?
Candace.
Dr. Lewis? Ms. Priestley?
Candace.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Michelle?
Candace Michelle.
Mr. Piper?
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Michelle. Round 721. Mr. Allen?
Candace.
Dr. Lewis? Ms. Priestley?
Candace.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Michelle? Mr. Piper?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Michelle, 4 votes for Mr. Carter. Round 722. Dr. Lewis? Ms. Priestley?
Candace.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Michelle?
Candace Michelle.
Mr. Piper?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen?
Candace.
4 votes for Ms. Michelle, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 723. Ms. Priestley?
Candace Michelle.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Michelle?
Candace Michelle.
Mr. Piper?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen?
Candace.
Dr. Lewis? 4 votes for Ms. Michelle, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 724. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Michelle?
Candace Michelle.
Mr. Piper?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley.
Mashat.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Mashat. Round 725. Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Priestley,
Candace.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Mashat. Round 726.
Judy sick.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns.
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Mashat, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 727. Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat.
Candace Mashat.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Mashat. Round 728. Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer.
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Mashat. Round 729. Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat, Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Mashat, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 730. Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen.
Kansas.
4 votes for Ms. Mashat, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 731. Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis. 4 votes for Ms. Mashat, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 732. Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Kansas.
Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley.
Candace Mashat.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Mashat. Round 733. Ms. Burns,
Wilkie Carter.
Ms. Michelle, Mr. Frankfurt,
Mr. Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Mr. Carter.
Mr. Allen,
Candy.
Dr. Lewis, Ms. Priestley,
Yes, Michelle.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Winfrey Carter.
4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 4 votes for Ms. Michelle.
Madam Clerk, motion to table to the next council meeting.
Support.
There is a motion to table the Secretary of Council until the next council meeting scheduled for March 24th. Going to go to Ms. Priestley first.
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Yes.
Ms. Burns.
No.
Ms. Michelle.
Yes.
Mr. Frankfurt.
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett.
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 1 no. The order of the council legal for the next council meeting. We'll move on to the order of business, which is open ceremonies.
Make them go to council.
Now it's time for the pledge of allegiance. Ms. Priestley, would you please lead the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now it's time for the prayer of blessing. Does anyone have anyone that they would like to remember before we do the prayer of blessing?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Jarrett.
thank you. I would like to remember the family, the Wayne family, and the family of Frank Wallace. Thank you. The Frank Weller.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, so seeing that there's no one else, I would like to call some remembrance. As well, Ms. Tiffany Needham Chase, Ms. Tiffany Needham Chase, in addition to the, Massey and Rutherford family. All right, so, with that being said, we will on to the prayer of blessing. So Councilwoman Michelle, would you please extend the blessing?
That's what they give me.
If all minds are clear, Heavenly Father, God, we come to you now. Just first and foremost, thank you for this day and time. Thank you for your grace, your mercy, your love, and your favor, Lord God. We thank you for allowing us all to get here safely. We ask that you will allow us to all get home safely as we go to our respective places. We ask that you will be with those families who are currently bereaved, Lord God, who need just an extra touch and extra love. May they be surrounded by people who comfort them and who care for them, Lord God. We ask that as we go forward with this council meeting, that we would do things that would uplift your name. We ask that we would edify your name. We ask that as we move forward, we would do things that would be in the best interest of the residents of the city of Flint. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. It is in Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Now time for the reading of this early person to become subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of the Flint City Code section 3110, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, disorderly person, and will be subject to arrest for misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful or orderly conduct of any meeting will be given one warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meeting. So now it's time for requests for agenda changes or additions. Are there any agenda changes?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
There was a request for a special order that I neglected to put on the agenda.
Madam Chair,
Please hold, Madam Clerk. Are you asking for the floor?
yes, but I wanted her to finish her sentence, but I had said it's not
Oh,
final.
okay, proceed, Madam Clerk.
If I heard her correctly, she was saying
Just
there's
one second, please. Are you through, Madam Clerk?
Yeah, I was just looking for the special order.
Okay, so I believe the special order was, a 10-minute presentation by mental housing.
Yeah, that's the one, and I'm asking that that be added to the objection. It looks like I'm not.
Okay. All right, and that typically goes at the end of the agenda?
Correct.
Okay. So since mental
Madam-
health is here,
Madam Chair,
okay, yes,
may I have the floor now?
go ahead.
Thank you. I would like to move that to, if we can, before public hearings.
All right. So, as the next move is before public hearing, and so I will order that without objection.
I don't know what it's like. When it comes to God, it is,
All right, so this is about an update on their, program on home repair. And since they are a recipient of ARPA funding, just keeping us abreast of what's going on in terms of mental housing. So I want to make sure is that pretty, that's pretty.
Actually, it's to do a public service announcement to announce that we're opening a new grant program. Eligible homeowners would be able to receive $15,000 to improve or repair their homes.
All right. So, all right, thank you. All right, so
Request
that's,
for information.
what request?
Do you have any, is there any handout of this?
Yeah, he has a handout, and he will pass it out during the presentation. I just received,
Well, he did hand that out so we can look at it prior, and so we can read it before he's talking, that would be great. He give it to the clerk.
Madam Chair,
go ahead.
I don't think that's a good idea, because we do have a public hearing and public, and we need to, oh, it's before the public hearing. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, we can,
take that back.
thank you.
All right. So, it doesn't matter to me. So go ahead, Madam Clerk, go ahead and get the handout so we can move forward. And so I would like to order that without objection.
Madam, point of order.
What was it, bro?
We need to have a roll call vote.
That's
We can't order that without objection.
According to the rules, we can't order without
We
objection.
need to have a roll call vote.
Do you object, Ms. Carter?
I do. We
Okay,
need to have a roll
say,
call.
thank you. So we'll move on with the roll call vote. All right, so it has been an objection. Do we have any more requests for any changes? Okay, seeing that we have none, and then we have an objection, we will go ahead and call for the roll call vote to add metro housing, 10-minute presentation, right before public hearings. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Murphy Carter. Yeah, Ms. Murphy Carter.
Yes.
Ms. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Michelle.
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Mr. Garrett, is not in. Mr. Rowley.
Yes.
Dr. Lewis.
Yes.
Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
Vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
All right, the vote is 7 yes, 0 no. That special order will be placed before public hearing. All right, so now that we have completed the changes to the agenda, we will move on to public hearing. And we're on public hearing number 2 for Oh, excuse me. Thank you so much.
Sure,
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair.
Mr. Metro Housing, are you ready? All right, sounds good. Let's go ahead.
Thank you, members of the council. My name is Brian Glowak. I'm CEO of Metro Community Development. Thank you for your time. I won't use the full 10 minutes, but really my purpose for being here this evening is truly to make a public service announcement. So for about the past 8 years, Metro has been pulling down funds that as a member of the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indianapolis, we are eligible to draw down these free funds towards low and moderate income homeowners to make repairs and improvements to their homes. So over the last 8 years, we've grown this program substantially. Last year, we awarded about $860,000 to homeowners in the city of Flint, and that improved a little over 52 homes. This year, our goal is to reach $1 million mark, roughly improve 65 to 70 homes. So the critical nature of this announcement is that we're opening the applications tomorrow. They're available at our offices, 1174 Robert T. Longway, just in front of the Holiday Inn. Stop by, please spread the word, pick up an application. We do need them back by April 15th. This is a first come, first served program. We compete with other member institutions throughout the state of Indiana and Michigan. Lots of banks, lots of credit unions. Many do not participate. We do. We try to draw down as much funds as possible. And that's why it's imperative to get these applications in when they're first available. So they'll be available to pick up tomorrow. Applicants will have to show proof of income, total household income, and there's a chart that shows the criteria. Roughly speaking, if it's a household with one member, the maximum income is about $47,000. 2 household members, it's roughly $51,000, and kind of goes on that trend. Now, you'll have to show also that you are the homeowner, so you'll be required to provide a copy of the deed. Also show that if there's a mortgage, you're current on your mortgage payments, and also current on all property taxes. So what it is imperative again is to gather all of those documents, make copies. We only accept the copies. We can't photocopy anything. We won't be able to return any documents to the applicants. And then after we do receive those applicants, we have to coordinate at least 2 estimates, contractor estimates. So that takes a little bit of time as well that we baked into the schedule in order to meet actually a May 15th deadline to get these applications submitted to the Federal Home Loan Bank. So again, I want to thank you. We will have this available. The intent is to put it on our website tomorrow. If any of you would like a digital version of this, I can send this to you. I'll leave my cards. If you could email me your information, and I'll send it out so you can distribute it. Again, it sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money, $1 million, but it's only roughly 65 to 70 homes. And we know the need is great in this community. And what I failed to mention is the types of repairs. Sorry for being remiss on that. The eligible repairs include roofs, windows, siding, exterior doors, furnaces, water heaters, mold remediation. It also includes siding. It includes gutters. And there's a small other items that if there's impairment of mobility, if you need grab handles like in a shower, if you need wide doorways in a home, those services are also available. So if I may come up, I'll just distribute my cards. I don't think I brought them up, and I apologize.
You can just send the files to clerk and she can forward it.
So what I'll do is just also provide a copy of the application. So again, I want to thank you for allowing me to contribute on your schedule to be able to make this announcement. I want to thank Councilwoman Lewis. I reached out to her and she made provisions for me to be here tonight. So thank you again. Any questions?
So I have one really quick for you. So can we get the application online as well?
I can mail to somebody, and if you can distribute it. Don't, if I can give it to you, could you be my traffic cop?
Okay, yeah, so I'll do that. Thank you. Yeah, so what you can do, you give it to the clerk, she distribute to every single council member.
Okay, sure. There was a question, what time we open? Actually, we'll provide applications from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And I'll just read out a phone number. If you have any questions, please be patient because I'm sure there's going to be lots of calls. Our number is 810-767-4622.
You Madam Chair, I have a question.
Go ahead.
You said Lillian?
Gloria, yes.
Yeah, I didn't mess it up. Thank you for coming. My question is, we had 72 roofs. Was that one for your metro also or no?
No, Metro's also a recipient of the ARPA funds, so we're still continuing with that program. All of those homeowners have already been selected, so we're just working down the list to finalize that.
Okay, so we did have 850,000 that was returned. From your program? Was it Metro's program?
No, actually, we didn't return any money.
Okay. How many were selected for that program for yours?
Wait, I'm sorry?
How many were selected for home repair through Metro?
We had roughly $1.5 million less administration. I think the number is about 93 homes that we can improve.
So 93 homes and $1.5 million, we're able to do 93 homes. Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay. Thank you again for the opportunity.
All right, thank you. So this special order is now closed. So now we're going to go into public hearing. So we're on public hearing number 240426.6. This is the public hearing on ordinance for the fair chance access to rental housing. So, Madam Attorney, do you have anything that you would like to add to this public hearing before we begin?
For this item, there were several amendments that were made, and that is what we have before you now. It shortens the number of years as far as fair housing is concerned.
Thank you. All right, so the public hearing is now open, so Madam Clerk.
Public hearings, anyone who wants to, speak at this public hearing, which is approach the lectern, 3 minutes. You just walk up and state your name for this portion of the agenda.
Now let's please state your name to the hearing at hand. You will receive a warning that you are off topic, if so, and then your time will be revoked if you continue to get off the subject. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mario Mitchell. I live at 759 East Linden Avenue. About this property tax situation. 30 years ago, I used to live on Laredo Street, 501 Laredo, and I was called down to City Hall to pay my taxes. Then I got down the stairs and said, sorry, sir, you was 2 minutes late.
Mario.
And then, you know,
let me get your name. That's your time. Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker. What is your point?
My point is, allow him some leniency to tie in. He is protected by American Civil Rights.
No, Ms. Burns.
I'm talking, please do not. Let me finish, please cut me off.
Proceed.
Thank you. Allow him to tie his thoughts together, give him some leniency, so that we can make sure everybody in these chambers are heard today. He only gets to talk 3 minutes. We can interrupt or whatever, let him get his 3 minutes out, and let him try to tie it together.
Okay, thank you. Mario, that's your time. You have a seat. So, next speaker, Mario, you're out of order, and you know that you're out of order. Please proceed, Madam Clerk, next speaker.
She is just.
Okay. So next speaker, please.
Well, good evening, Flint City Council, happy Monday. I'm here to support the Fair Chance Housing Ordinance here, in Flint, and I'm thankful for this opportunity to talk to you all, because as a formerly incarcerated person, getting access to housing is one of the most important things. And I'm thankful that you all are considering this, because there are a lot of Flint residents that are struggling to get access to housing. Folk that you know every day that are struggling to get access to housing. People that have turned their life around and we're still denying them basic human rights. And so while some of you are not even making eye contact with me, I want you to understand that if you deny people access to basic human rights, you make your own community unsafe. Your own community. So I would urge you all to pass it. Urge you all to give people real second chances. And I commend you all in even considering it. Thank you.
I would like to say, my name is Charmel Allen. I am a returning citizen. And I have the opportunity to work with most of you guys on a volunteering basis with the Flint Water Department, Flint Fire Department. I think we put the fire extinguishers in people's houses. So to live next door to me would have someone that would be looking out for you. I know what it is to be hurt, harmed, and to harm someone or put someone in harm's way. After 35 years later, I've matured, I've grown up, I know what it is to be respectful. And I know what it is to be kind to my neighbor. I know what kindness is when you lack so many things when you're growing up, and then you learn the difference between this life and that life. To have me as your neighbor would have someone to look out for you, look out for your dog. Now, I'm a little scared of cats, but if you just needed me, I would do it. I would make sure that looking for people that might be suspectful, because now I know what to look for, and I'm not that anymore. So I urge you, just take a look. I could be your sister. I could marry your brother, so don't be worried about that. And just try to be kind and give everybody a chance. And if something goes wrong, report it. And then before we move them into your neighborhood, we're gonna make sure they're not this type of person or that type of person, which we're talking about that are harm children. And if they ever harm a pet before, they're questionable. So to think of us as someone other than you, you're not looking in the right direction. And I believe it says what the greatest man shows his greatness by the way the truth is delivered.
Good evening, everyone. My name is John L. Allen, and I'm a resident of Genesee County, Flint, Michigan, and I'm a returning citizen. I've taken an oath to protect, serve, and unify this community. This is very important to me. This is personal to me, not because of me. I have no skin in the game, but I know thousands of others that do. I know thousands of people who need an opportunity, need a barrier torn down so that they may be able to be productive. And the first step in being productive is having a place to stay and being able to know that when you do get there, that you're able, I'm sorry, is that my time? Okay. That when you get done after a hard day's work, that you have an opportunity to lay your head in a home with your neighbor. I defined one time for you what homelessness is. Homelessness is considered any person who doesn't have their name on a lease, who doesn't have their name on a mortgage, who happens to be staying with someone. And that's why we temporary. We need to be able to have sustainable places for our residents. You all know our count. You know the residents. You know that over 50% of our residents in the city of Flint have some form of felony. It's our duty to protect them. It's our duty to give them an opportunity. So I thank you today. I thank you for the opportunity just to consider doing something right about it. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak on top of fair housing.
I'm just like to speak on, I can take one. My name is Nadia Muhammad. I like to speak on fair housing and just concur with the previous speakers on fair housing. Just giving an example of someone who may have come out from being incarcerated and coming and returning back to a family where they don't have very much income. And then they can't even get housing in public housing, which is where you have the cheapest rent to pay, but they can't even get there to get themselves a fair start. And then the family is displaced because if they let them come back there so they can have unity with their family, now they can't even have unity with their family. Seen that happen before. Just think about it. Flint is a city of fair housing in the Fair Housing Act. What would it look like if we don't have fair housing in a city where it took off in the United States with fair housing? So I concur with you, sister. I heard you from brothers back there. I heard them all, what they said. Please pass something to help with the resolution of fair housing. It's something that definitely needs to take precedence. It definitely is a problem, not just here in Flint, but it's a problem across the country, where those who coming back out to be reiterated back into the community and want a fair chance to get a fair start, can't get a fair start because their, lines are drawn against it.
All right, so seeing that that was the last person to speak on this specific ordinance during this public hearing, this public hearing is now closed. So now we're moving on to the second public hearing, which is Resolution 430.6, public hearing regarding the community benefits agreement. Go ahead, Ms. Brewster.
Could you remind the audience members that there are council rules off on this should be silenced?
Absolutely. So for the audience, pursuant to our council rules, please silence your cell phones. Thank you. All right, so, Madam Attorney.
For this community benefits ordinance, I will defer to Councilwoman Shedd on this to see if there were any additional changes that was made to this ordinance for community benefits.
I believe Madam Clerk made the notes of it in and it was just some specific stuff that colleagues asked for. But the notes was different.
It's under the,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
ordinance, under the agenda.
Under the ordinance, thank you so much. If you look under the second reading and enactment of ordinances, it just simply says this ordinance, let's see, ordinance amended to add developer definition information, tier project estimations, and public hearing details, agreements, specifications, and community engagement processes. Other than that, this is in place to help residents when there are developers coming into the community. This gives residents an opportunity to negotiate on their own terms with the developers what they feel the benefit of the community should be. Whether this ordinance will work is that it will go through the citywide advisory council. Whatever will be directly affected by, will immediately impact, I should say, by the development. That board would get 2 additional members to the citywide advisory council, and they would be a part of the committee to decide what would be a proportionate benefit to the community. That benefit could be monetary. That benefit could also come in terms of volunteering or offering some sort of community services such as movie nights, reading programs, things of that nature. It just depends on what the community decides is the proportionate benefit for the development. And once it goes through the community, it once the community developer have an agreement, then it would come to council to solidify. But basically, this is just giving the community the power to decide what they feel the benefit should be when a developer comes into the city. Thank you.
All right. So now this public hearing is now open to the public. First public speaker, please. And again, we are reminding all speakers to let's stay on topic with community benefits agreements. Thank you.
Hello, Council. I'm R.L. Mitchell. We live at 759 East Linden Avenue. Now, about the situation about 50% off the property tax downstairs, I want to get an application asked because I got a letter in the mailbox. Yeah, I got an address. And they said, come down and fill out the application, sir. And when you fill it out, they said you look at the record, your house belongs to 754. It belongs to a church.
Mr.
Sir,
Mitchell.
you just...
Mr. Mitchell, so I'm going to pause you. Please pause this time. So, this is exclusively about the community benefits ordinance. This isn't public speaking. So, let's please stay on track with the community benefits ordinance, please. Thank you.
Like I was saying, I filled out the application last week, and I brought it and filled it out to my police of the application.
Mr.
And then they said, sir,
Mr. Mitchell,
you
that's your time. Thank you. Have a seat. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you know,
Mr. Mitchell.
What?
Have a seat.
you already finished talking, you know, the money. You don't be doing no stuff like that.
Mr. Mitchell.
What?
That is your warning. Let's have a seat.
Hey, man, shut up. What's up? Listen, let's speak up. Don't get drunk.
Next speaker.
Who would want to speak under these conditions? She gonna have a city and all type of
Good
lawsuit.
evening, City Council. I'm Joel Arnold, the planning and advocacy manager at Communities First, and I also live a block from here, we're at Fort Wallenberg. So I want to come up first just to note that I think that this ordinance language has made a lot of improvement from first draft of this. We're very supportive of community benefits and community benefits agreements in total. And what I'm here to comment tonight are really just on some technical sort of edits that we think would be good to make this ordinance, make sure it doesn't capture very small projects that have a hard time getting off the ground, while still giving us benefits from, let's say, a city redevelopment or these large developments that we know have the funds to do that. And again, my apologies for this being a little bit in the weeds. But one amendment that we had proposed is in the definition of a developer. We would encourage, it currently says for-profit firms are the covered entity by this. Sometimes nonprofits will form like LLCs in order to receive federal funding for a project, and it's a little vague to whether that is or isn't included. So we would just encourage language change to make that a little clearer. A second thing we probably encourage is if the city grants, let's say, home funds, CDG funds, or ESG funds to an organization in the city, to clarify whether or not those are covered by community benefits agreements. I think the intention is for larger projects to be covered by this, but the way the language is in, it's not entirely clear if recipients of something like a CDBG grant or home grant might be covered by that. It'd be very good to clarify. Otherwise, there could be quite a few community benefits agreements every year. A third recommendation that we have is that the threshold for these implementing would be projects of $20 million or more in value. In Detroit, the threshold is $75 million or more. We're a proportionately smaller city, so I think a proportionally smaller size makes a lot of sense. But that would be good just so that it doesn't capture, let's say, someone trying to build a fourplex or something on a couple vacant lots and maybe needs to use a round to tip to close their gap. Unfortunately, in our city, it costs today, just in construction costs, about $300,000 to build a unit of housing, whether that's a home or an apartment. And we know that that's not affordable for our residents, so sometimes tax capture districts just close that gap to make it affordable. Sometimes having those very small projects have a little more certainty on whether or not they're covered by things. Sometimes bank lending institutions would be hesitant to lend if they know there might be a community process they're not totally sure about for small projects, whereas bigger projects can handle that stuff. They have more money, they have more returns. And then our last comment is This is very super specific in section 25-3C-14. There's a line where it says that an entity who's doing majority of income restricted housing may be exempt from coverage in this. We would prefer that say shall, just because in most communities, affordable housing is a benefit that's negotiated for. And so we think that treating that in this ordinance would be great as well. Happy to share these comments in writing, but I thank you all for your work and for the time put in this ordinance.
All right, thank you. Next public speaker.
My name is A.C. Dumas. I'm a resident of the city of Flint Third Ward. I think it's still much work to be done on this community benefit agreement. Gentleman just got up and he mentioned some things. It's a lot of work to be done. And I don't think that this council should rush to pass this. I really think it should be broken down so the people can understand exactly what the agreement is. And I know politicians are quite slick, and they put stuff in here that the people don't know about. So I would suggest that there be a town hall community meeting so the people can understand. That's what.
Please hold, Mr. Jones, let's not yell out. Thank you. Proceed.
I think it's very important. I heard a council person in the Senate ward was saying, little that you can hear back there. The only time you can hear you all is when you're hollering and screaming. But when it's time to vote or educate the people, you can't hear you. But I was trying to understand what she was saying. But I do know that if any changes are made in a public hearing, they has to be redone all over again. That's college. That's knowledge from a person that knows city council ordinance and rules. And so, but again, I would strongly suggest that this goes back to the drawing board. Make sure that the public understand what a community benefit agreement is, and the reason why community benefit is to benefit the community. That's what a community benefit agreement. And you know what you cannot do is after the train pulls off from the station and then say, oh, I wish we coulda, woulda, shoulda. And then the public is left out. So I would strongly suggest that this do not pass, do not send it, pass it, but also to have a community meeting to talk about community benefits agreement. You know, like they said, what happened to project, not Lyric, but the other one, was it Ashley Cotton? See what happened? After the fact. I'm tired of after the fact. Thank you.
All right, any more speakers?
What was said, because I'm looking over and I'm trying to read it. I done Googled it to try to see it. It is totally confusing. You can't get no clear cut nothing at all. And I do believe I can read above third grade level, way above third grade level. But this is just not, it's not clear and it's not fair. We as the residents have suffered enough with too many projects coming through. I know the Action Capital was mentioned, but there's a lot of other projects that came through the city that was put into place
and have meetings where working folks can come. Because a lot of times, some of these meetings take place during the daytime, and we're at work. You know, a lot of people around here work 9 to 5, or have several meetings where it's fair. You know, there's some meetings that happen. I actually spoke to somebody in, I think Jocelyn Benson's office, and said, why did you come in the middle of the day when the majority of your people are at work? So you didn't make it fair to the residents in Flint. You was concerned with what we thought, but you came during the daytime where most of the people who will be coming to those meetings are at work. So make it fair. And in saying that, make this fair, make it clear cut. But I do agree that we do need to have some kind of a word to say in where things are going. If you're taking tax dollars that's coming from the people who are working and taking care and creating, things that's supposed to make money. I mean, I'm just telling you straight up, Lear is a joke. Lear hire people and they don't keep a lot of those people more than 30 days or the 90 days, and they fire them and recycle them. I mean, they have some people that they do that with, but when they came in, when you talk about employment people and giving them gainful employment, you gotta keep them employed more than 90 days so they can at least get some kind of benefits. And Lear did not do that. You have some who made it through, but some who didn't. So let's come up and create some community town hall meetings to where people can come in and at least express their concerns, ask questions, and get some answers and have some resolutions. Thank you. Next speaker.
My understanding is clear, and I'd like to talk about reentry in the city of Flint.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
so this is exclusively about community benefits, and
Yes.
so public speaking, general public speaking, it will take place momentarily, so you can wait for a second.
I wanna connect it with,
The community benefits?
yes. So, with the community benefits, I believe it's time to see, things in Flint, Michigan again. So he said instead of investing in small projects, let's take this and invest in not a $300,000 building, but how about 10 to 12 dollars? How about opening up some of these closed down fire stations and turning them into activity centers? And how about turning them into community center, computer institutes for the kids in the neighborhood? There's a lot of things that those funds could be used for that we can drive up and down the street and see. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so since there is no one else to speak on this topic, this public hearing is officially closed. So now we are moving on to public comment. So, Madam Clerk.
Public speaking.
Comments.
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
Hello, I'm R.L. Mitchell. You know where I live at. The situation is about, hey, this is for the record. I was greatly disturbed in my house since I was listening to the radio. And then a message come across there in the King Charles announced that one of the Salam Alaikum brothers come up to his Salam Alaikum fast 4 days, and then he allowed them to pray in there. And then Obama heard the prayer, he said, I never heard something so beautiful. And then King Charles said, after he got through praying, the brother, he said, he is the protector of the Christians. And what he said that for? I couldn't even be relaxed in my own house. Ever since I've been locked up in the house, ever since the pandemic came, COVID-19. Just like a Christian being locked up in it. I ain't heard that dude pray in 30 years. Over there on right in the person's real house. I heard him in the morning, he hear them boys 20 blocks away when them dudes get ready to pray. And I call myself marking them. They didn't even want to check me. It do sound good, like what President Obama said. But that's just like an idea, just like the girl over there, what, fifth ward, no, sixth ward talking about, I don't know what she was saying to you, and you didn't listen to her. Let protecting somebody, God say you protect, you would protect the Christians. And then, you almost like Martin Luther King, talking about none of violence, and all that, Trump, the pale-faced them coming in, dropping this up from a fair house, and you don't want to darken, they have a house in Flint, and you up there talking that Trump, talking about, Mr. Mitchell, yeah, I'm actually out here, please, you know, and all that stuff, and like one day I'm asking you, who's your pastor, lady? Is that Pastor Morton, Bishop Morton? He used to be on the radio, so you listen to him every morning, talking about, I'm going to eat my breakfast, but I got to read the word of God. But then all of a sudden he got cut off. I wanted to ask one of the black brothers got to him or something. After King Charles talked about protecting of the saints. Who do you think you is? Oh, Red Rooster. Oh, look out now. What you going to get another? Still, man, reward on the Philadelphia boys. All of those stupid fucking, all of that. You got jump. Say something now, you. Oh, okay. Okay, keep on looking down. Oh, stay tuned, America. Then you gonna see what the rest used to beat up Tarzan and his brother. And all that jump. Take that.
All right, next public speaker.
The next speaker is Liberty Bell.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Go to that. Look at that.
She left.
All right, so like she's not here. Go ahead.
Next speaker is Joel Arnold. Next speaker is James Moore.
Silver.
James Moore, second ward, say a few things, watch my time. I want to say thank you, Leon, in the first ward, for putting on an event that could set the pace to help out so many others. He held an open forum for those that are in trouble with their taxes to be able to come out and to speak with some people. The mayor showed up. Telling everybody that there is help to help them save their homes. I heard about the fair housing earlier. I just like to speak of 11,000 that's about to lose their homes through taxes. You guys, all 9 wards should be putting on a marathon on any and every way to try to reach out and to try to help our fellow neighborhoods, our fellow people. We're just all people. Some are doing well and a whole lot of them really ain't. But whatever help that y'all could do, if you don't understand what I'm saying, talk to the first ward over there, Leon Elamine. He can help you to figure out something. But we need to do everything that we possibly can to help these residents with their taxes. Down here in Detroit, they were talking earlier on radio stations about how Detroit is working with the residents of Detroit to stay in their homes, because when they put them out, it don't take long for the city to take over and tear those homes up. It would be better to have them in the home than have them to be put out of the home. And Detroit is just, 70 miles down the road. I hope that will resonate and we can do something similar to that up here in the city. I would hate to see 11,000 of my residents in here in the city of Flint being displaced, and I feel sorry for those that are already displaced. But we got to start making sense on some things that we do. And we got, March 20th, I believe, to 4:30 that evening. They need to do a marathon on trying to find somebody to help. They may come by the way of new businesses coming into the area to put some money in the pot. Because if we get rid of our residents, the city without residents in the city, I'm not even sure if it's a town or a village or just a place. place, maybe it's a parking place, and it'll be a big one. But I would like to see you nine make an effort, and, like I said, put together a marathon to, see what you can do. If it ain't nothing but just get on TV and talk on the news, but this is about our residents, my time is up right now, and, I don't get to speak no more tonight, but I want to say that somewhere over the rainbow, I hope to be one of those businesses that come in and make a difference. Thank you.
Our next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Stacy Dumas.
My name is A.C. Dumas, and Flint wants Genesee County millage funds to open 4th Senior Center in Flint. That is ludicrous. Nonsense. I thought the police chief, he left. I wanted to ask him about the police department, 10 police officers that came over to the Hassel Green Community Center on last week. Then the following day, some more came over. And then finally, at the new home of the 501c3 Hassel Green, they came over to the James Kennedy Center. I have a question. The individuals that are working at Hassel Green, the old Hassel Green, 1002 Holmes Avenue, how are they getting paid? How are they getting paid? And the taxpayers have a right to know, unless someone is just paying them out of their pocket. I received a text this morning and asked me not to be quiet. Don't raise confusion. I'm not raising confusion. I'm just saying right is right and right don't wrong nobody. I want to applaud Pastor Reed, I think that's his name, for taking in Miss Beverly Lewis. I want to applaud him. Because Jesus said, since y'all like to pray and all like that, when was I outdoors and you didn't take me in? And he said, when you did it unto the least of these, my brother, you did it for me. See, one day, he gonna put the goat on the left and the sheep on the right. It's gonna be a record day. So I want to applaud him. Also, I'm here appealing for St. Mark's and also the other on the east side that wants money to feed the hungry. Again, Jesus, when did I see you hungry and didn't feed you? Because you know, if I knew it was you, I would feed you. Say, when you did it to the least of these, my brother, you did it to me. And to the wicked, he's going to say, depart from me. It's some wicked folk. They ain't going to make it to heaven. Because everybody talks about heaven, but ain't going. Wow!
Next speaker, Arnell, please stop yelling out. You will receive another warning. So we will not disrupt this meeting. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Alon Fair.
Hello, this is for wards 1, 2, 4, and 7, and 8. Blame it on me. He said it's his fault. Stop all that bullying, shaking down Hassel Green, and stealing everything. Blame it on Ed, because it's his fault. And I'm gonna be happy when you get caught. That's where y'all. And I also want to say, for that to be the Flint City official camera, it needs to be on, showing everybody. And, Davina, I think you can take care of that. That's lightweight. And, that's all I had to say. I will be, watching. You crooks. Wow!
Next speaker, Madam Clerk. Next speaker is Rich Jones.
When it comes to, how y'all doing there? When it comes to housing, we need to stop the leak. And that is when we turn our homes over to land. I like the program pretty young, but we need to, because I was there, I talked to some people. And the ones that are on year 3 is very little help for them. But the ones that are on year 1, year 2, we can save those homes. So I suggest that we look past, I'm not saying stop trying to help these people right now, I'm not saying that, but what I am saying, that after March 31st, let's start dealing with these people that are 1 year behind, 2 years behind, and straighten them out so they don't come into this 3-year situation to where we get another home to land. Now, all y'all seen this. Some of y'all know it. Some of y'all talked about it and it dropped like the next hot topic came up. But you have seen people lose their home. The city of Flint, give them land back. They sit there, become empty. They were livable. Some of these people that they're talking about could have been in them homes if you would have killed them. A lot of them is grass and dirt right now. And we have a 4-year plan that we're paying land banks from all that we gave for them to take it out. We got 4 years left of a 5-year plan. Well, anyway, we need to stop the bleed now. We don't need to lose another home. We ain't got that many left. Now, as far as trying to get some new home, affordable home, because all the conversations that I'm hearing, affordable is not in. So we need to think a way to get some affordable homes. And I have been talking to some people in other cities that have got new homes built and they're affordable for their residents. So I will be talking to y'all about that in the near future. But right now, please think of ways to get in touch with these people that's 1 year, 2 years behind with their taxes. Let's not give up on our homes for this thing.
Next speaker is Audrey Muhammad.
Who? You say? Audrey Muhammad. Audrey Muhammad.
Second Ward. I want to go back to the fair housing that you talked about. Fair housing. Many of the people here in town may be behind on property taxes. So they are really left out. But what if they went over to the county and started making arrangements and making payments on it? So they excluded from still getting repairs done in their house, which puts them back and still more into poverty. I just think something maybe even with the fair, not just fair housing, we're talking about with the metro housing, sorry about that. With the metro housing project that's going on. I know at one time they did have an issue that was helping with paying taxes, but now that part is probably over. So it's still putting us in a different situation here with getting roofs and things fixed through metro housing. Some of that I wish would be taken into consideration. Also, we've talked on several occasions about water, about the water bills and the water accounts. And $300 probably wouldn't split in the bucket for some folks. I heard one person tell me they had an $11,000 water bill. And I said, how you getting an $11,000 water bill? Okay, so everybody, some people get it, they might be a 501c3, but then you got people who live in housing and can't keep their houses or can't keep their water on because their water bill is high. Let's make some fairness out of that and some equality out of that. These are just things I want you all to start thinking about and considering. If you're saying you really want to consider what the community is thinking, consider these things. These are things that are very serious in the community. Very serious. If you're talking about keeping people in their house, if you have an income of a certain amount, we all got affected by the water. My pipes, I don't have to replace things in my house because of the water. I didn't forget to put or purposely didn't put corrosion control in the water to make sure that my pipes didn't mess up. But I'm still suffering just the same, but I can't get the quality help that I need because my income is too high. Let's take it into consideration. If we're saying that we really listening to the residents and want to hear the concerns of the residents, really listen to the concerns of the residents. Shouldn't be income based. It shouldn't just be because, okay, this, that, and the other. We all hit some hard times, maybe a couple of bumps in the road. Maybe all of us at some point in time maybe needed some help with some taxes or on something. If you haven't, consider yourself blessed. But think about those who do need help.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk. The final speaker for this meeting is Beverly Biggs Levy.
All right, so she waived her time. So now, since that is the final speaker, we will move on to council response. Any council member would like to respond? I understand that no council member would like to respond. Go ahead.
I would like to thank the residents who came out and spoke in regards to the ordinances and the events that took place over the weekend. Definitely want to thank Dr. Cole, Dr. Cole, Brother James, Rich Jones, and everyone who participated in the tax foreclosure event that we held. Also, just want to reiterate the importance of the Fair Housing Ordinance, which includes many safeguards and doesn't give special treatment. But what it does is at least allow individuals to present themselves without discrimination and have a real opportunity to move forward with their life like they're going to serve their time. So I hope my colleagues can see the importance of that and get something done and move that forward. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Yes. I do just want to point out because there seems to be some confusion with the community benefits ordinance. I'm not sure if you have not had the opportunity to read the ordinance, but the ordinance is literally putting the power back in the hands of the community. It's taking it from the developers, and the community gets to decide what the benefit is. Now, as far as someone, I think the example of Lear was used, as far as them cycling people in and out 30 days, and I think they talked about maybe some health benefits or something. Nobody is in charge of your health benefits or anything like that other than your employer. Nobody is in charge of your employment other than your employer. That is not something that we can ever legally try and mandate. I believe when we were trying to talk to Ashley Capital about the amount of people that they were hired from the city of Flint, we were told legally that we couldn't require them to have people hire X amount of residents from Flint. And so because we couldn't do that, this community benefits ordinance, it can be anywhere from, when we say proportionate, it can be anywhere from you all decide that because they're getting a tax break that they need to put X amount of money back into your community. It can be you decide that they have to do literacy programs. It can be you decide that they have to do cleanups. It can be that you decide that for the length of them getting the abatement, they could have to do scholarships for students. It's literally whatever you decide. If you read the ordinance it lays out specifically that this power goes back to the people to decide what the benefit is. It's not up to the council, it's not up to the developer. It's up to the residents to decide what they feel the benefit is. And so when we talk about this community benefits ordinance, no, other people read the ordinance. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, seeing that there is no one else, I'll go ahead and be the last one to take my time. And we have a lot of great things going on in the city, a lot of great things. One of the things that I am definitely proud of, and I would like to extend a hearty congratulations and a thank you for such a wonderful Black History program. I'm Councilman the 7th Ward and also Councilman the 1st Ward. It was standing room only at the Gloria Coles Library. We had an opportunity to highlight some amazing scholars within our city. Our scholars are doing great work, and we were also able to work with our poet laureate, Samaj Brown. And what they're doing, they are teaching our youth literacy through poetry, and that is amazing. So kudos to you all for putting on such a great project and for working with our scholars as well as our poet laureate. And also, I would like to commend my colleagues for their hard work on the community benefit program for being in tandem with other major municipalities. This is what they're doing. The residents said that they want to benefit. Councilman was heard, worked together, and got it done. And so this is exactly what we're doing. So thank you so much, Councilwoman Schack, for your vision and for your dedication, for continuing to push this, as well as the Fair Chance Housing Ordinance. Thank you, Mr. Elmini, for your due diligence on pushing this over the finish line. This is what matters. This is what changes lives. You know, I know people that stay in abandoned houses that's still homeless because that house does not belong to them. They're staying there with dead animals and etc. I know the person with house degrees. So making sure that we are housing our unhoused is very important. So I would like to close with this Saturday, we are having our 3rd annual Women Empowerment Brunch at Cathedral Faith. Every year it is a sellout. And so we are encouraging, if you are interested in celebrating women, celebrating positivity, come on out because there's great things happening right here in the city of Flint. All right, so now that council response is now over, we will go ahead and move into reconsiderations. So right now we're at reconsideration of resolution 240548. This is the reallocation of our funds for St. Martin. All right, so we are taking a vote to reconsider, and per council rules, this is not a discussion item. This is exclusively to reconsider. All right, go ahead. We can't talk about it. No, I'm ready to vote. Thank you so much for doing it. Thank you so much. All right, so what's the motion by?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we reconsider resolution 240548-T.
All right, any support? Support by Councilwoman City Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Shedd? No. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Yeah, I got up when you said that.
No.
Briefly? The vote is 4 yes, 3 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 3 no, so that reconsideration. So now it's time for the consent agenda. What's the pleasure of the body?
That was St. Mark's, right?
All right, there's a motion for the consent agenda, any support? Go ahead, Mr. Brown. Oh, okay, and it's supported by the comprehensive report, and so the action of the consent agenda also includes the presentation of the minutes. And this is what's separated.
They played, yeah. I got it from next month. That other one.
Ordinance, the
No, actually, I'm going to just separate the ordinance, for the community and everything else.
Okay.
240, 430.
All right. You want separation? All right, so seeing that is on separation, we are moving on to the consent agenda. And it will include everything besides resolution 24043-021, which is the community benefits ordinance.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I'm asking that, as usual, when it comes to the minutes, that the motion include language that says, for the minutes with any corrections as necessary, administrative and otherwise.
Could you please repeat that?
I'm asking that the motion include, with regard to the presentation of minutes, that they be approved by consent with, any necessary, corrections, administrative or otherwise. This could be something as simple as a page number wrong, or if we notice that a vote is recorded wrong or something like that. I'm asking that that be included in that motion.
Oh, okay. So, moving past consent agenda, presentation of minutes, without any necessary changes. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Shad?
Yes.
Mr. Piper? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Councilman Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes is not in. The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. The consent agenda passes. So now we are going to the ordinance number 240-430-21, legislation. What's the pleasure?
Madam Chair, I move that we enact this ordinance, we, do the second reading and enact.
All right, the motion for, second and enactment is for
Next year.
our report by the councilwoman and the board. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
I know we have a speaker from Communities Coast tonight, and, asked that we look into adding some amendments. Madam Chair, through you to Clerk, Davina. Once this goes into second read, will we be able to make necessary amendments to the ordinance?
No, second reading and enactment is for final review.
Okay, but at any point, we can always bring this, ordinance back to make, changes or amendments, right?
Correct, this ordinance, got to effect for 30 days. And, it also, if it were to come back, because it would go with first and second readings, we would just have a new number. They would start over the number.
I can't hear, Madam Clerk, can you speak into your mic?
Okay, so if you approve this version for 30.1, which would not take effect for 30 days, and outside of the veto by the mayor, we would start, if we wanted to address it again, we would start with a new number. Then we go through the process all over again under a different number. That one would go into effect, but then you could make changes to the one that was adopted, the 3430.1. We would get a new number. They would just, in effect, basically start the process over again, because it would have to go through a first and second reading. So it's gonna take another upwards of 60 days to approve a new version. But yes, you could, if this is approved in this version, you could come back and then make amendments, under a new number.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Okay.
All right, anyone else in the first round?
Madam Chair, through you to the clerk. Madam Clerk, if we were to send this back to legislative to give consideration to some of those changes, would it take the same 60-day window, or would it just go to 1.2 or whatever at that?
No, it would go to a point two, and then it would still have to have, this would have at least 5 days notice for a public hearing. So it's possible you could send it back to committees and it could come back. Well, actually, it would take probably the first meeting in April before it could be up for second reading again, but it wouldn't take as long.
It wouldn't take as long.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Well, I certainly appreciate Joel who works for Communities First, a developer coming up here with changes. Be clear that it's a developer asking you to do what's best for a development as opposed to what's best for the residents. And it's not that we don't want people to develop here, it's not that we don't want to hear the voices of developers. I just want to be clear that some of the changes that they're talking about making, you are going to be stripping power away from the people, when the whole point of this ordinance is for residents to decide. I hear exactly what he's saying about some of his concerns, and while I certainly sympathize with what he's saying, and like Mr. Ricardo said, maybe come back and review it at another time, what you don't want to do is start getting in the weeds of development, so much so to the point where you change an ordinance that is meant to empower residents. We can't say that what happened with Ashley Capital, we don't want to happen again, but then when a developer comes before you with changes, you start making changes, you start making tweaks, because you end up right back where you are, and that is, you're negotiating the people out of the power that this ordinance gives them. So let's be very clear in what you were asked for today by someone that works for a developer. And if you go back and you read the ordinance, and I keep impressing upon people to read the ordinance, because this does exactly what it needs to do in the sense of, it is not up to the council to decide, it is not up to the developer to decide. The developer has to go before the people, hold community meetings with the people, and talk to the people to decide what that benefit will be. It will then be up to the people to negotiate back and forth with that developer. So if we're saying we're giving tax abatements and we're taking tax dollars, where those tax dollars are coming from would be the residents of Flint. And this benefits agreement gives the residents of Flint, whose tax dollars are going toward this, it gives them the opportunity to decide what they feel is a benefit that works for them before that developer can even come before the council. So be very clear about the chain of how this works and what happens when you start making tweaks, because someone who, and he's an amazing community member, don't get me wrong, Communities First does beautiful work in the community, which is why the example of the fact that some of the work that they do is actually a benefit to the community and can be negotiated as such if residents decide. But they do movie nights, they have literacy programs that they offer, they teach people not only reading literacy, but also financial literacy. Communities First offers skiing classes for people to give them exposure to things that they may not have been exposed to before. So when you're looking at community benefits, you have to understand that that means something more than just monetary, where when you have these bigger developments where it is going to be something monetary, and the residents are going to decide that that means something monetary again, whether that is in the form of scholarships for students, whether that is in the form of you put X amount of dollars to this side for maybe something toward housing or home repair, or maybe something toward community cleanups if that's what you want. But the bottom line is there's far too many people coming in our community handing us turkeys and saying you're welcome. Far too many people coming in our community handing us different things that just were not proportionate with the amount and the tax break that they were getting. And so what this agreement does is it gives us an opportunity to say, we feel like in this instance, this monetary thing is proportionate. Or, like Joel pointed out, housing is indeed a benefit. Yes, housing is a benefit, but be clear, when you choose to develop housing, you're a developer who went into that field by choice. And so while we appreciate people having the opportunity to address adding more homes to the city, they can also offer literacy programs within those communities, because you gotta keep in mind, they're getting tax breaks and incentives from more than just the city of Flint. And so they can continue to offer what Communities First offers, and the community can decide that that is enough. Or the community can decide, hey, we might need you all to spend some volunteer hours here this summer. When you look at it, you have to be creative and think outside of the box of what that benefit means to you in your side of town at that time. But this gives residents the power to decide what that looks like and the range to decide what that looks like. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right.
Anyone else on the
Still don't know what she said. So in reviewing and thinking about this and how long it's been on our agenda, and the fact that we can always amend it, until we put it into place and actually see it working, maybe at that time we'll have some changes that will improve it. Postponing it at this point for another, till April, whatever, just means that anybody who might be covered under this ordinance is going to be used, exactly. And so I'm just going to encourage my colleagues to understand that we can amend it. Let's see how it actually is put into practice and if there's any modifications. Thank you.
All right, anyone else in the first round, Mr. No? All right, so, second round. Anyone else in the second round? Say there's no one else in the second round, we go on. So, roll call vote, Madam Clerk, for the passing of the ordinance 240-4321.
Start packing up, you know it's gonna pass. Right.
No.
Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Michelle?
Yes.
The vote is 4 yes, 3 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 3 no, so
Well,
that
hot damn.
ordinance
They
fails.
should have did that with consent.
Madam Chair,
Support.
All right, there has been a motion to adjourn, supported by the Councilman for Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
They didn't do the third ward pick.
They ain't doing it.
Mr. Jarrett?
What about the third ward?
No.
They gonna pick our third ward?
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
No.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Yeah.
No. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Chad?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
They know to vote for me. That's the purpose of just sitting here.
The vote is 4 yes, 3 no.
They gonna tell the
The
judge
vote
that they
is
vote.
4 yes, 3 no, so that fails. So now we're moving on to the next order of business, which is the consideration of applicant for the third ward council member.
I don't know why y'all, this is crazy.
All right, so Madam Clerk.
So, as we've been doing recently,
Then it started.
for the agenda, for this consideration of applicants, council will
This is done.
vote for a total of 30 rounds.
You going back to this.
After the 15th round, if the body has not reached a majority vote for one candidate,
This is
council member will be allowed 3 minutes
This is
in close to discuss the reason for supporting or opposing each candidate. And then we'll continue on to the third round. The current applicants, candidates are Ms. Beverly Davis Levy, A.C. Dunas, Richard Jones, and Carrie Nelson. And as we've been doing with the rounds for this process, for the record, including the 30 rounds that were conducted in the last regular meeting on the 24th. That brings us to technically starting at round 229. But for the purpose of this meeting, I will be starting with round 1 and going to 30, and then we will add those rounds to that full. And also, we will start with the next person in line to start the rounds for the third ward appointment. And that is going to be with round 1 for this meeting. Ms. Marjorie Carter.
Big Sleepy.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Michelle.
Carrie Nelson.
Mr. Piper.
We got this put up.
Mr. Garrett. Mr. Allen. Dr. Lewis. Carrie Nelson. Ms. Priestley. That's 2 votes for Ms. Priestley, 4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 1 vote for Mr. Dillon.
That's correct.
Round 2.
You go to court with a lose.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Michelle.
Carrie Nelson.
Mr. Piper. Mr. Jarrett.
Biggs Levy.
Mr. Allen.
Nelson.
Dr. Lewis.
Nelson.
Ms. Priestley. Ms. Carter.
Big Sleepy.
There's 4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 1 for Mr. Lewis, 2 for Ms.
They can't
Priestley.
even go to court and say, we quit voting.
No, but they keep coming
Round
back.
3.
They won.
Ms. Michelle.
And they started playing the game.
Carrie Nelson.
Mr. Piper.
I've never seen so many people play the game.
Mr. Jarrett.
Biggs Levy.
This is why this guy.
Mr. Allen.
Nelson.
I see why you.
Dr. Lewis.
Carrie Nelson.
I see
Ms.
why
Priestley.
They some clowns.
Ms. Carter.
Big Sleepy.
Ms. Burns is absent. That's 4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 1 for Mr. Lewis, 2 for Ms. Priestley. Round 4. Mr. Piper.
This just show you that this is.
They can't stick together, they have some damn.
Mr. Jarrett.
Biggs Levy.
Mr. Allen.
Nelson.
Dr. Lewis.
Nelson.
Ms. Priestley. Ms. Carter.
Big Sleepy.
Ms. Michelle.
Carrie Nelson.
That's 1 vote for Mr. Lewis, 2 for Ms. Priestley, 4 for Mr. Nelson. Round 5. Mr. Jarrett.
Biggs Levy.
Mr. Allen.
Nelson.
Dr. Lewis.
Nelson.
Ms. Priestley. Ms. Carter.
Big Sleepy.
Ms. Michelle.
Carrie Nelson.
Mr. Piper. That's 3 votes for Ms. Priestley, 4 votes for Mr. Nelson. Round 6. Mr. Allen.
Nelson.
Dr. Lewis.
Nelson.
except for the week.
Mr. Jack?
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
4 votes for Mr. Nelson. 3 votes for Ms. Biggs leaving.
She was smart.
Round 7.
Other than just sitting there
Dr.
playing
Lewis?
the game and don't know what they're doing.
Ms. Priestley?
Here, Nelson.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs leaving.
This is
Mr. Jack?
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper? Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Allen?
No.
4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 2 votes for Ms. Biggs leaving, 1 vote for Mr. Jefferson. Round 8. Ms. Priestley?
Here, Nelson.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jack?
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Allen?
No.
Dr. Lewis?
Nelson.
4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 3 for Ms. Biggs leaving. Round 9. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jack?
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
This is
Mr.
like
Allen?
the silliest motherfuckers I've seen.
Dr. Lewis?
Nelson.
They're playing right into that game, and they don't even see it. That's why kids is up there smiling. They know they got
4 votes
nothing.
for Mr. Nelson. Round 10.
They know they got these schools.
Mr. Jack?
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Allen?
No.
Dr. Lewis?
Nelson.
Ms. Priestley?
Nelson.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs leaving.
This is retarded.
4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 3 votes for Ms. Biggs leaving.
Jonathan
Round
over there
11.
praying now.
Mr. Piper?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Allen?
No.
Jonathan.
Dr.
She
Lewis?
crazy, man. I'd have got up and
Ms.
left.
Priestley?
Nelson.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs leaving.
Ms. Michelle?
Here, Nelson.
3 votes for Ms. Biggs leaving, 4 votes for Mr.
They
Nelson.
playing right into their hand.
Round 12. Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
When they did, I see why.
Mr. Allen?
No.
Dennis said, you know, he need man.
Dr. Lewis?
None of them up there work. I'll
Ms.
let leave
Priestley?
me to anything.
Nelson.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jack?
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper?
Biggs leaving.
I know this judge gonna say, when you got
3 votes for Ms. Biggs leaving, 4 for Mr. Nelson. Round 13. Mr. Allen?
No.
Dr. Lewis?
Nelson.
Ms. Priestley?
Nelson.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jack?
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper?
Newman.
Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
You know,
4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 2 for Ms. Biggs leaving, 1 for Mr. Jarrett. Round 14.
I'm gonna tell them, man, like this,
Dr.
this,
Lewis?
don't worry. I thought it was, this day over there,
Ms.
slow
Winfrey
as
Carter?
shit.
Biggs leaving.
They slow
Mr. Jack?
as shit.
Here, Nelson.
Mr. Piper?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Jarrett?
Biggs leaving.
Mr. Allen?
No.
4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 3 votes for Ms. Biggs leaving. Round 15. Ms. Priestley?
Here, Nelson.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Biggs Beatty.
Mr. Shad?
Gary Nelson.
Where was the administration at all?
No,
Mr. Jarrett?
it just declined. I ain't seen nobody, one person that was in the
Mr. Allen?
No.
Dr. Lewis? No. 4 votes for Mr. Nelson, 3 votes for Ms. Biggs Beatty.
That's what I said, kind of talking to.
That is the 15th round, Madam Chair.
This is,
All right, so now that we're at the 15th round, we all are afforded 3 minutes to
Dog
discuss
out this bed.
our changes.
Now, this 3
In
minutes
terms of
they gonna
voting.
take the
So,
dog out.
Mr. Al Alamin.
My reason for picking Kerry Nelson is just he has experience. He's been on council, been president, knows the charter, and he'll be able to come fill right in. And I think at the place where we are right now, that's what we need to continue to try to move some things forward for the residents.
All right, so go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
Yes. I stated my reasons on
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Carter.
I'm just gonna say this, I will continue to vote for Ms. Biggs Beatty. I stated my reasons in the past, and that's gonna be it. I stand on what I've said before. Thank you.
All right, next, Mr. Jackson.
there we go.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
This is a fall shit.
Again, the reason that Carrie Nelson is going to be the best bet to fill the seat until the residents have an opportunity to elect someone is that of all the people who are under consideration, Mr. Nelson has never come up here nor used any public platform to attack any council member. Mr. Nelson is experienced. He's already been here before, and so he won't have a problem with acclimating back into the situation. And I think the biggest reason outside of the experience is at this point, we have a fractured council. And so regardless to how we got there or if we want to be there or not, Mr. Nelson, again, is the only one with no real dog in the race because he's not on the ballot either. Seeing as how, like I stated earlier, he has never attacked anyone up here, I am convinced that he would be the most neutral party. Given his temperament that is shown in his demeanor, I think that he would bring a calm to the council as well. I think at the end of the day, what is important is getting city business done. What is important is moving the city forward. What is important is making sure that until the third ward can have their representation, there's someone in that seat that can represent them, and that will also be a steady hand to move the council forward. I don't think at this point in time there is another candidate that would be able to be in that seat and not be biased. And I say that from having sat here and experienced the other candidates and how they move and their motives. And so, just to give us a fair chance at really getting work done and really being a balanced council, I believe Mr. Nelson would be the best bet. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Mr. Tyson? Mr. Garrett? Okay, just anything on the bill, I will gladly take my time. And so, as stated before, as my colleagues say that we need to bring reform back to council, we need to look at candidates that will bring reform back to council. According to the charter, it is our duty to appoint the most effective individual. And according to the resumes, according to the interview, Mr. Kerry Nelson is the one that will do that. And so, in the past, we had colleagues to take a stance over people making homosexual rhetoric remarks.
Judy called us colored.
ICP is distancing itself from its vice president. This after he said he would not vote for a political candidate because she's gay. NBC 25's Jamie Redwood has more on the controversy that has many asking for his resignation.
This is a Facebook post that has LGBTQ people and allies upset.
12B, Flint NAACP Vice President A.C. Dumas wrote he will not vote for Democratic Attorney General candidate Dana Nessel because she's gay. Nessel says her sexuality has nothing to do with how well she can do the job.
I have spent my career representing people who are marginalized.
Dumas later wrote this: it is